There we go. We are live. I think. Nope, not yet. Yes, we are. We are live.
We are live.
We're live.
We're
And
Can
alive.
you
We're
hear me?
alive.
how are you doing?
Not again.
What?
Not again.
Can you hear me? Oh, goodness. Here we go again.
Tokyo to Michelle.
Nope, can't hear Michelle. Uh,
Anyway,
little technical difficulty. Maybe log out and try to come back in. Log out and come back in. Boy, if that wasn't professional, I don't know what is.
hey everybody, welcome to the show tonight.
We're so glad to be here and be back on a podcast. We looked forward to it. We look
Oh,
forward to it
absolutely.
every time and tonight as well.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
Absolutely. I hope everybody's been doing good and you've had a good weekend. And Monday was horrible for me. It was had to endure the day. I don't know if it was because we lost an hour's sleep.
Mm.
I was miserable at work today. I just didn't want to be there, but I stayed. Hey Charles, how are you doing?
You know, the time change didn't
Can
really.
you hear me now?
I can hear.
Oh, good,
Okay,
good.
good,
The time
good.
change didn't really bother me that much. You know, like when we flew out to Vegas to that Para Unity conference years ago. Now that time change gave me a little jet lag.
Yes, it did me as well.
Yeah.
When everybody was getting ready to go out and have a good time, I was like, it's bedtime.
Mm.
But it was only 8 o'clock there. But anyway, Michael was trying to get us a guest for tonight, and I guess that didn't work out. So, um, our team has several experiences with shadow people, and we've done a
Mhm.
podcast on this before. And if you've followed along on our podcast, you may remember some of the pictures that we showed and some of the things that we did. We don't have the pictures tonight with us, but if you send me a message, I'll be glad to send you pictures of everything that we have caught and seen. Have you ever seen a shadow person, Michelle?
Okay, so my story on this was Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. And that was always one of the claims that they gave us. People before, they've seen shadows, they've seen it out the corner of their eye. Everybody on our team that entire weekend saw that shadow figure. And
Mhm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
so mad that I didn't get to see it. Like, I was disappointed that I was the only one that did not get to see it. So I traveled down the hallway, go to unhook that last camera to wrap up the wire, bring it back. We're getting ready to leave. And then something said, look down the hallway, look down towards the ER. And there it was, like peekabooing out of the wall or out of the doorway. And I started screaming. I finally saw it. And all I heard
I
was
know. I
Michael
remember
say,
you were so excited.
Michael says, what's she screaming about now? I was like, it was the most amazing thing. It was like it saved it for me for the last hoorah, the exiting finale, if you will. It was cool. So I got to see my shadow figure.
And that shadow figure could have been the one that actually ripped duct tape off our camera and twirled it around in the air.
Actually lifted the
Yep,
We
camera
had a
up and then
yeah,
dropped it back
we
down.
caught that on video. That
Yeah, we
was
had
yep.
that on video.
insane, absolutely
That's
insane.
the one that we made the joke that we need cameras now to watch our cameras because that was such a I still don't know how to explain it. How many years later?
Hmm.
Long time ago,
Yeah, it's been a
long
while.
time ago. Um, the crazy that we do have that video on our YouTube channel. So if you want to look it up
Yep.
and Fox Paranormal, go ahead and go over there and see that after the show. It's pretty amazing. Um, Duct tape was thrown from the camera. That camera was duct taped down. We make
Hmm.
sure that if we can't put them on a stand somewhere, wherever we have to put them, we make sure they're secure.
There was
Good
a lot of
tape.
duct
We
tape,
use
too.
a lot of duct tape on it.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
did with that particular one because we didn't have a stand for that camera. So
Right.
here we was trying to figure out how can we make this work, and we had it. It wasn't going anywhere. So it wasn't like it was on a traditional tripod where it can, creep down like they do over the weight over time. No, this was secure. There no reason for this to have gone anywhere. And that duct tape was shredded.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was
But the
crazy.
shadow person that we caught at Old South Pittsburgh was a gold catch right there.
It was. We tried to say it was a team member, but the arms were real long and the fingers were long. It was not. It was shaped like, I don't know. The frame might have been a female shape.
It looked female.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
it was so just, like, I don't know, the hands looked weird and
deformed. Everything was
Long.
yeah,
looking
that's
deformed.
what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we want to talk about tonight too, because you have some people that have reported shadow people, and you have these individuals, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but
Mm-mm.
they seem to believe, that all shadow people are demonic. And I kind of disagree with that because I've seen several shadow people over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, no one's ever really submitted any evidence that they were able to interact with a shadow person. So
That's true.
is it
That I know
residual
of.
or is it intelligent?
Well,
Or
the
is
one,
dimensional.
Yeah, or interdimensional.
yeah, it very possibly could, but the one that I did see at OSPH, it was peekabooing with me. So it's not like I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It's not like I saw it and it, dissipated. It was literally out of that doorway looking at me. Like, yeah, it was playing. So I don't know. I would think that's kind of interacting
Is it
if it
or
was a
isn't it?
true shadow.
We have no evidence of that though.
We don't. That's
We've-
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
personal
Yep, personal
experience.
experience. Yep.
Uh,
And I mean, they
my
do
thing
hold
is
a little
nobody
validity,
submitted evidence.
but
Right.
right. So, I mean, personal experiences, they do hold validity to an extent, but it's not something that everyone was able to, witness. So it can only go so far. It goes as far as
Yeah,
my word. And
yeah.
you know my word, but not everybody does.
No,
Yeah.
we
So,
don't doubt it for a second, what you were experiencing because, we also experienced the shadow person there at the hospital.
right.
And, that
Hello,
was.
Karen. Look at that baby.
Yeah.
Well, there's different things they could be. Interdimensional, demonic. Some have they're I believe that some are demonic. I believe a demon can take shape.
Hmm.
So human spirits, I really don't think they ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just here and always have been. Like the one that happened in Bowden when the chair camera turned to follow me. I remember that.
I do. I remember
And
that also.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
A camera forgot to turn our DVR system on. But however, the owner of that shop caught it on their cameras
Yeah,
from the inside.
They had security cameras running, so they were actually had cameras on our cameras.
Yeah, that chair moved around.
Yes, it did.
With
I remember
the
you
camera
telling
on
me this.
one of our cameras on it, and we didn't get it. But I mean, stuff happens,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a lot to set up. We had a lot going on there pre-investigation. Were you with us then, Michelle? Were
I
you there?
wasn't. I think
That
I
was
came
crazy.
officially in what, 2017?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years. Well, the most famous shadow person everybody's always talked about is the Hat Man.
Yes.
That's what you hear the most about, and that's what you see a lot of the pictures that have been submitted to the the web. is pictures of what they depict as the Hat Man. And the shadow person we experienced there at the hospital, I don't remember seeing a hat. I mean, I'm kind of like you and Michelle, as far as it seemed like it had characteristics of a female.
Right.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
had more of the shapely figure, and
Yeah.
a few years later, in just about the same spot, somebody
Todd and
else out of
Leanne.
Pittsburgh caught a
Yeah.
picture, and this one was shaped. I mean, it looked like it resembled a man,
It was more
but
masculine.
the long fingers, the
Yeah.
long arms, and it was just standing there like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was Todd and Leanne that caught that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charles said the first shadow person I saw was the one that was bent over looking at sunshine in our bedroom, and it stood up and faced me, and then it was gone.
Mhm.
That's why I'm so interested in this.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, can they, is it more residual? Are they going down that hallway at the same time every night doing the exact same thing? Or are they interacting? Are they moving things? Or, what are they?
Yeah. Or what Destiny put out there. Are they interdimensional?
Correct. Yeah.
That's a good point right there.
There's so many possibilities
Yeah.
what it could be. And that's one thing nobody has ever been able to figure out. It is a little scary when you see one. Just all of a sudden you look and there's a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Michael saw one the other night going across the wall up over our curtains in our bedroom. He said it just moved straight across. He said it was dark and just moved across. Not like shaped like a person, but just
Yeah.
a dark mist.
Mm-hmm.
I
And then we
had that
have
similar.
the bathroom creeper at our house.
Yeah.
It will look around at the door and then jerk back like you didn't see it. And then, out of the corner of your eye, you'll catch it moving across from the vanity into the little room on the side that has the shower.
Right.
Just
And
it'll
remember the
dark.
one I brought back from the Budapest that time. And I don't know if that's considered a shadow or not, but I would be laying in bed, dark, my room's pitch black, and I can see it move. And it
Yeah.
would just go from one side to the other.
I would consider that a shadow, a person of some type. Now, I have experienced over the years, it seems like there's different levels of shadow people as far as how they can manifest themselves.
Mhm.
Right.
Some of them seem to be stronger at it, like the one at Old South Pittsburgh. I mean,
Yeah.
we pretty much got to see most of the body, but
Right.
you got to think about too, you have some very well-known demonologists that have taught us over the years that, if it was demonic, a demonic entity can't fully form a human body.
Right.
Right.
There's going to be, a defect somewhere. And, we were always told, that is one thing we needed to watch for when we're dealing with a demonic shadow.
Hey,
Right.
Christine, how are you?
And most of the
In
shadow
our
people,
case, it was the long hands, the long fingers, the
yeah.
twisted body.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
who
really didn't see
knows?
any legs either, though.
Oh yeah, because they were like tight together. It was almost like one full
Yeah.
trunk as opposed to two.
Yeah,
I
it was
forgot about that.
an image.
No, it wasn't a perfect image. But,
No,
I'm not saying, automatically want to jump on the bandwagon that it was demonic.
no, we don't know that. We didn't interact with it other
No.
than what the camera, that was the only interaction that we had from where we caught that figure. But back to the interdimensional thing, who's to say it's not? I mean, are they really here? Or, I mean, whenever we look at them and they disappear, it's almost like they're slipping between the realities.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So who's to say? I don't know.
Yeah. My
I'm here
sister,
to learn.
we lived up in Carrollton, on the Walmart side. We lived on Hayes Mill Road, and my sister lived with us.
Mhm.
And she just kept saying, I keep seeing a shadow person in the backyard. And, I kind of just brushed it off. You'd just have to know my sister. And just like every day or every other day, she would be like, I keep seeing a shadow person out there in the backyard. I mean, just always. And she looked very upset about it. Um, so one day I'm home alone. And so you had to go out our back door, go out on a carport, and just beyond that was a screened in area
Mhm.
where we sat all the time. We sat out there on that back so much that we screened it in and put a heater on the wall so we could be out there in the wintertime. I mean, it was just so peaceful.
An extension.
Not a heavy populated area. It was just peaceful out there. So I'm going out the back door from the kitchen, stepping around to go in the utility room, the laundry room, and coming back out, I caught the glimpse. This had color in it.
Mhm.
If I had to describe what it looked like, it was like a pirate, Johnny Depp. I mean, serious. That's what it looked like. It had the little bandana on. It had color, and I've often wondered, is that what she saw? After I saw that in full color, she never said anything else about seeing the Shadow Man again. Maybe
Huh.
just had to make his presence known. Now,
Right.
why in the world there'd be some kind of pirate looking guy in Carrollton, Georgia? I have no clue.
He
I don't
got
know.
lost.
And he was very lost. He was trying to find his way back to the
He's trying
pyramid.
to find that jar of dirt. But listen, it's so funny because I'm sitting here in the living room tonight and you're talking about this, and I happen to catch out the corner of my eye the Amazon guy. I was like, what is that? It was Amazon bringing
Yeah.
some,
Now,
yeah.
you had to have known Destiny's sister the way I did.
I
She
wish I got
wasn't
to
a
him
person
better.
that spooked easily.
No,
She
she
did
was a
not spook
psychic.
easily.
She legitimately
Yeah.
saw things.
So when she would tell us something, I would take it serious.
Yes, because everything she ever told us came true.
Yeah.
Everything. Like 9/11, when the planes hit the Twin Towers. Um, some people we know were in Port-au-Prince, Haiti on a little mission trip. And she told me, she said, you need to tell them they're not going to come back when they're supposed to. They're going to be late coming home. And I'm like, yeah, right, right. So I never said anything to them. Never did. And then the day they were scheduled to board a plane to come home, just as they got to the airport and
Mhm.
got through security and everything to leave, all the screens went blank. Departure time,
Wow.
arrival times, that screen that's in airports,
Yeah.
it went blank. All flights canceled. And then there was a TV in there, but everything was, it wasn't in our language. They didn't know what was going on. And the only thing they could see on TV were planes running into buildings, and
Right.
at a glimpse, they thought to start with it was a bomb from the view they had caught of it. And they began going around asking people in the airport, what's going on? What's going on? And what they were told was America was being bombed. So that's what they thought because the only language any of them could speak was English.
Bomb. Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
it was terrifying for them, They're thinking about their families at home and everything. So that's just how legit my sister was. Even
That's
before
cool.
9/11, she told, well, quite a few of us. She said, I see planes going into buildings, tall buildings. And I said, where do you see that at? She said, in my mind, I just saw it. And
Oh.
that was 2 weeks. And then from that point was when she began to say that they were not coming home on time. Charles said he's going to believe that it was his real dad looking at his granddaughter. I just hope to believe that. Maybe
No.
that's what it was.
Now, there's another theory out there. I was just reading it today. Some people believe or have made statements on shadow people that they're actually on the other side of the veil, and you're seeing them through the veils why they look like a shadow person.
No, that's a cool theory.
It is. It really is.
So they're not actually in the room with you. They're in their reality and you're in your reality. And the veil
Yeah.
has gotten so thin right there that you can see through it. Have you ever looked through you've seen a silhouette of somebody, in a curtain?
Yeah.
They look deformed a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
See, and we've made that theory as far as ghost hunting, if you will. Who's to say that it's not two different realities? And just
Yeah.
for that brief second, oh, mom's in the kitchen making breakfast for the kids, and we catch
Mhm.
the clank of the glass, or you know what I'm saying? That smell. Oh, well, there's so and so spraying perfume, and we just happen to catch a whiff of it. So I
Right.
could see that.
It could be, the shadow person we caught at the old Pittsburgh hospital could have been a former patient looking out its door to see where the nurse was.
Right? Like, hello, I've been in this ER long enough. I've done
Yeah,
it. I've been there. I understand. Me
yeah.
too. Me too.
Yeah. Good evening, Ronnie Britt. How are you?
Hey, Ronnie Britt was with us that night too, young blood.
Yeah, it was.
But what do you think about like the witching hour? Do you think it could be more in specific times, like the witching hour, the 3 a.m.s, those times that we're seeing these, or have we been able to even put a time on it?
You were telling me something about that just the other day.
I'm
We were
glad you brought
talking.
that up.
I am too.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've actually been studying that, and I've been studying it on the biblical side too.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
those hours that we talk about, 3 a.m. in the Bible's talked about as the fourth watch, and that's
Okay.
when they believed in biblical days that God was closest to them and His power was greater between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Somebody say something. I'm picking my jaw up right now.
I know
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and that's
Sometimes if we stall, it's because Michael says something and we have to process it.
yeah.
Okay,
The
we're
wheels.
processing.
Yeah, get
So
that hamster back on that wheel.
Yeah.
Come on.
hence the 3 a.m.
Wow.
the bewitching hour is, a lot of people have called it like you just called it, or
Yeah.
3 a.m. is believed to be when the veil is the thinnest between our reality and their reality.
Right.
Right. I'm doing a little sort of a mini study with somebody right now on demonology, just picking up their views from it. And this person believes when you're investigating a place that, especially if you feel it's demonic, 3 a.m. is when you start calling it out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get rid of it, then 3 a.m. is when you start.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
that goes in with what Michael just said.
yeah,
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 So,
it
I
does.
really feel like, and from experience, it's not just 3 a.m. You know, if something is demonic, it's any time.
right.
If somebody's possessed, and I believe it may have been Jeremy Leonard. The
Yeah.
the first run in he had with a demon, he
Mm-hmm.
talks about how he saw this deformed shadow, and it really scared him. He was new in the paranormal, new to, well, not new in the paranormal, but you know having a run in with something demonic.
Mm-hmm.
And through that experience, he went on to become a demonologist. And,
Mm-hmm.
he's really inspired our lives a lot.
A
And
lot.
so has this person that I'm studying with now. He's had an impact on me so far. We believe different, and he understands that. And we respect that in each other, that we both have different beliefs, religion
Okay.
and concerning the demonic.
Yeah. Well, I've learned over the years in the field of paranormal investigating that you never want to stand up and say this is the way it is because this is the way I say it's going to be.
Right.
You have to be open. You have to open yourself up to all ideas and all philosophies of what people are experiencing.
Right.
So let
Youngblood
me
said
ask you,
back. Sorry, his internet was being slow. We did say hey to you, Ronnie.
we
Charles
did.
said he saw a couple shadow people in Tallapoosa where some stuff was happening that I got y'all involved. Yeah. Um, that was something else right there. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So now, Michael, let me ask you this. So if the veil separates the living and the afterlife, the spirits remain on the other side unless summoned to or allowed to pass. How do you feel about that?
I feel that they can't pass unless the veil has gotten to the point where it's thin enough,
Okay.
where it might allow them temporarily pass through to where,
Okay.
we could experience paranormal activity. I think a lot of the paranormal activity people's experienced is happening during the fourth watch or the
Do
3
you think that that's because most of us are winding down or are already asleep, and we're not as during our waking hours, not as strong, I guess you can say we're more weak in that time of,
possibility,
you know what I'm trying to say, but my words
yeah,
won't
yeah.
come out.
Uh, I think during those hours, especially if you're asleep, I think your mind's more open to what's going on, and your mind will try to rationalize things. Sometimes, even when you're awake and you're experiencing something paranormal, your mind is trying to rationalize it, and
For
it's
sure.
kind of feeding the information to your brain how it's perceiving what you're seeing.
So like sleep paralysis.
Hmm.
So you think that could go hand in hand. Could it be the shadow? Could it be something demonic? Could it be something more? Or is it just your brain hasn't fully said, hey, body, wake up yet?
I had an experience years ago. Um, I lived in Noonan, and I was waking up that morning, and I couldn't move. And something, it was like I couldn't see it and I couldn't feel it, but I was aware. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like I felt something coming to my stomach, but then it would fly back out like a ball.
Hmm.
Oh,
It would come back to my stomach. So I got awake enough, and it's like I could see this. I can't explain it good. Like a misty thing, and then no longer did I see it in my mind's eye, but I saw it with my eyes. It would come at me to hit at my stomach, and then it would fly back up to the ceiling. And I jumped out of bed. And when I did, all that stopped. I've never been able to explain that. And
wow.
I often wonder, was I trying to get possessed or something? I don't know.
Hmm.
See, and I've never experienced any type of sleep paralysis or anything like that.
I
So
have, other
that's
than that,
scary.
I have in my dreams before.
Okay.
In my dream, the one dream I had, I was on a sidewalk. There were people around, and I was trying to move and couldn't move. And I was saying, "Can somebody help me?" In a weaky kind of voice. "Can somebody please help me? I can't move. Help me, help me." And nobody would respond. Not the same dream, but that's happened to me 2 or 3 times.
That's terrifying.
It
Hmm.
really is. You're
I've
caught in a
never.
dream, and I wish I could teach myself when I'm having a bad dream to wake up. Wake up.
I've actually had, I've done that a couple times. Once when I was a child, I remember, and it's so funny because as a child, I kept saying, "You got to wake up. You got to wake up. Pretend you're on the screen machine at Six Flags." And I remember doing my body all weird. I mean, and that's what I was trying to just, and I finally did wake up from it. But that's so funny. I haven't thought about that in years.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that. Wake up, wake up.
There's been a lot of people talk about having sleep paralysis, where
Hmm.
they're describing it as they're totally awake, but they're totally frozen. They can't move. They can't react, and they're just laying there, in a tremendous amount of fear.
And some people have even said they felt something holding them down,
Yes.
like holding their shoulders
No,
and their legs so they
no,
can't move.
I want no part of that. I'm sorry.
No, no, I really wouldn't want to have to go through that, but I've dealt with clients in the past that have described that very, thing happening to them. None of them was really hurt. I think a few of them had come out, with some type of scratches maybe or something on their bodies that,
Yeah.
they've showed us. Uh, Now, again, when you go in, you're dealing with a shadow person, or you're dealing with these experiences that people's bringing to you. Now, Desi and I will go in and we look, and we're trying to correlate what their claims are with what we're catching or experiencing ourselves, and then we will make a determination if, well, Destiny will. She'll make a determination if she feels it's demonic or if it's a human.
Right.
Charles says most all people who say they were abducted by aliens say they were paralyzed.
Yeah.
So what if shadow people are alien like?
Might be. So I have another question. So we always hear about the Hat Man, the Watchers and all that. What about animals? Can they take on animal shapes? Is there shadow animals?
Um, we had an investigator a long time ago that heard a dog barking, and it's the same place where we're going this weekend. Um, they say she heard a dog barking off in the distance, but there is houses on the backside of that place.
Yeah.
So she kind of brushed it off, it's one of those people's dogs out barking. They hear us out here, and so they're barking. Well, she said later on that night, when they left and she got home looking at her pictures, she actually had, I don't know if she still got it, a picture of sort of an apparition of a dog.
Wow. Okay.
She
Yeah.
showed it to me. It's legit. So I'm saying, yeah, I guess they could.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to warn people. They need to, when they're experiencing this stuff, and they automatically think it's demonic. They need to watch out, who they're reaching out to, because there is a lot of self-proclaimed demonologists out there that
Hmm.
really don't know what they're doing.
Hmm.
And we can, guide people to the right people if they needed, somebody legitimate.
For
We
sure.
know a lot of legitimate people that have
Yes,
studied for
yes,
years. I
several.
mean, studied for years in this subject, to deal with these kind of issues.
There are three that I have the utmost confidence in.
Yes. And to me, that makes a big difference.
That I've met. I know there's good ones out there, but that I've met personally, I know three,
Yeah.
Right.
maybe four.
The difference is with me is I'm not out to make a name for myself anymore in the paranormal. I've already done that. I've been in the paranormal many, many years. I have investigated with some of the top names, as people think, in the industry.
For sure.
And it's not impressive to me.
Right. They're just people. They're just like us.
Yeah.
Right, right. And I learned that a long time ago. I thought the first Paracon we went to, all those stars there,
Yeah.
Most people would get starstruck. The only one
No.
I was starstruck over was Josh Gates.
And I got to
I
tell
could
him
not
he's my
breathe.
husband. But Destiny, when those same stars are coming up to us saying, I've heard of you.
I know, that was
How
amazing.
cool is
And
that? You know?
we don't do this to get on TV. That was never
No.
our goal. We have been on TV, but that wasn't the goal. And it's not the goal in the future. Not saying we wouldn't if an opportunity came along, but just saying
Right.
it's not important to us.
Right.
We just want to investigate the paranormal. We want to do what we do. We want to help people,
Yep.
and there are times that we want to go out and have fun on a
Absolutely.
Exactly.
group-based investigation, but we're not looking to become famous.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I feel like we was. They knew who we were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
And
did.
that,
It was like, I've heard of you, and I'm like,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
have? Where'd you
All
hear all
right.
this from?
That is so
Yeah.
cool. But
It is what
yeah,
it is.
it is.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good, though. Really, it does.
Of
But we're just
course.
plain old Fox Paranormal
Yes.
from Georgia. We like to drink sweet tea with lemon in
Yeah.
it. So.
No limit in mine.
Yeah, we know.
I was doing a podcast one time, and somebody commented on it. Don't that just make you want to get a glass of sweet tea?
Uh,
And I'm like, and then we go to
they
West.
hear me and it's like
And
cornbread.
Michael and I always like to go around at the Paracons and introduce ourselves and give a business card. Hey, I'm Dusty Potts. This is my husband, Michael, or, whoever introduces us. And we give them a card. And I said, we're from Georgia. And then I had one say, I can tell. And I'm like,
Yeah. It's funny. You go around introducing y'all to everybody. I go around with Foxy, introducing everybody to Foxy. Foxy has met some really famous people.
Yeah,
yes, she
Foxy has.
has.
I never got a picture with anybody, but here goes
Yeah.
Foxy, and it's like that's so funny.
For
But to see
those
Josh Gates'
people watching
reaction
that may
to
not
her.
know Foxy, Foxy is a
Yes,
robot we had custom made for us.
Right. She's a one of a kind. There'll
Yeah.
never
one
be
of a
another one
kind.
like her. Um, we are about to embark on our own little journey making REM pods. Trying to. I'm not going to say we're going to, but we're about to experiment with some things
That's gonna be
and
fun.
maybe come up with our own
Mm-hmm.
special kind of REM pod.
We've been talking about the jail too, going back to the jail. And several times we've been there, there's always been shadow people in the jail.
Yes, yes.
Always.
People running up and down the stairs all night long. Then you look, and every person that's with us is accounted for. We've got the door barricaded. Nobody could get in. Well, that one family came in that time.
Yeah, that caught
We
us
had that
off guard.
happen twice, though. We had some people stop by, and they had heard the jail was haunted, and they just rode by, and they caught a sight of us there, and they came in, and they left very terrified. Michael and another, I think it was you, when it took them upstairs.
Yeah, me and two other people.
Yeah, so they took this little family of people upstairs, and they were pretty anxious to get away from there.
Yeah, they'd had
Wow.
they'd had enough.
Yes.
But they caught
Wow.
us off guard because here we are doing our thing in the jail, and we look up and there's these ladies walking in.
We didn't know if they were ghosts or really
Yeah.
people, just at a glance, because there's no power
You real?
in Pauley jail. So,
Yeah.
and then we had another people come up. They had, they were going to, what was it? They were revisiting places for Black History.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were retracing steps and all for Black History. and we invited them in, and their eyes were this big, and I don't think they ever came in, did they?
Yeah, they came into the lower level,
Yeah,
but
they were not interested in
yeah,
any kind of spooks.
we're very open armed when we have guests come in by surprise like that. We take them on in and say, "Sure, come on in. We'll give you an
Yeah.
investigation."
Yeah.
So Destiny, why did I just get a visual of Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and that Betty Boop nightgown
Oh,
and
hun.
the person down the bottom looking up?
Look, anytime we go on an investigation and we spend the night, I am famous for wearing Betty Boop night
Yes.
shirts. I mean, they come down to my knees. They don't show anything.
They're
Um,
long, yeah.
but I run around in my little Betty Boop night shirts until I get awake and get dressed. So every team member has seen me in my little Betty Boop gown. So I go, and there was no water there in Old South, and I don't know if there is now or not. Maybe they've got something going in there by now, but I'm not sure. But they had nothing there then. And so I decided that I'm going in the kitchen. I've got to take a bath. I don't care what situation we're in. I'm going to find a way to wash my
Hmm.
hair and take a bath.
Yeah.
So no, there was water in room 5.
Hmm.
There was water in there,
It's just
and
cold.
I washed my hair in cold water, but that's out of the sink. That was as far as I could go. So I took the coffee pot and I kept running. Oh, and there was water in the kitchen.
Hmm.
Um, I took the coffee pot and kept filling it up with water and running it through there. And I got one of those plastic pitchers, like for tea, sweet tea, or lemonade or whatever. And I filled it up. And so I went to my room, bathed up. Um, and then after that, I decided that I was going to go. No, I didn't. That was before I done that. I went out and sat in the courtyard.
Yeah.
And then I went back from there and bathed up and got dressed. But meantime, while I was out in the courtyard, Michelle and Big Ronnie, see what?
No, hold on. No.
I
Are
thought you
you
were talking
in the
about the
courtyard?
doppelganger thing.
No, I actually wasn't, but I'm cool with the story. I was
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah.
people who saw you in the window.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh, oh,
Well,
yeah,
tell
yeah,
tell
yes,
the other
yes.
part what happened while I was in the courtyard.
See, was you in the courtyard? Yeah, you was. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
was.
was
I
in
was
the
trying to think of
courtyard.
Yeah,
how it
he
was.
was actually
So
in the
me and
courtyard.
Big Ronnie are sitting at the nurse's station watching all the cameras, and boy, we had the whole hospital cameraed up. I think we had like 12
Okay.
cameras that night. And me and Ronnie are sitting there, and we watched Destiny walk down the hallway with her little water pitcher in her hand
No, y'all saw me with the coffee pot. Y'all
with a
saw.
coffee pot. That's what it was. It
Yeah.
was the coffee pot. So the full-blown glass coffee pot, I'm gonna go take me a bath. It was like, okay. And she just kept walking. And the next thing we know, here comes Destiny walking from the courtyard and says, I'm gonna go take a bath. And we're going,
The look on their
what?
faces when I said that, you would have thought they saw a ghost.
Yeah.
I think we
You
did.
did. You did.
Well,
But
there was a lot of experiences there.
yeah, and I
That
was
was a good
playing,
night.
you get bored during the day, you investigated all night, and there's a time you get tired. And sometime early afternoon, I saw some people pull up and they're looking at the front of the hospital. And so I get this crazy idea, I'm going to mess with these people because I know they can see up there. And so I jumped up in the window and I went, and then I ducked down real quick. They were pointing. I did this 2 or 3, 4 times maybe. They were pointing up there and got their cameras up taking
Yeah, they
pictures.
did. They did. I
So
was
if
watching the
y'all
whole thing.
if y'all see any pictures on the internet where people are saying they caught an apparition on the second floor of the hospital, please
Oh,
know
Betty
that was me.
Boop.
That was me. That was
Yep.
me.
Betty Boop nightgown.
Probably.
Yeah.
That was so fun. That was so fun. But that night, I mean, it popped off that night. that's when Daniel and Darla and all of them, they and what was his name? He was so sweet.
Trevor.
And
Trevor.
Trevor, and
Yeah.
they all went to dinner. And so here the team is in the hospital. We haven't really had any nothing really happened this whole time, and we're in there finally by ourselves. Destiny's at the nurse's station watching cameras. One team's down here, one team's over here. You got this one over here, and all of a sudden, Destiny, get back to the nurse's station. And I mean, it was like boom, 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 boom. Things was happening all over the place.
Yeah.
But we
You
also did a
remember?
secret experiment too, previous to this.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, true too,
it
true too.
actually worked. It actually worked. It did kick up some activity, lots of activity. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you'll never
Yeah,
know. I
you'll
promise.
never know. It's yeah.
You will never know.
You will never know.
There's only some close friends that know, but that's it.
But it's true because I mean, that's the one too. We're in the courtyard, and at that time, I smoked, and we're sitting outside, we're having a cigarette, and then we see a shadow go across one of the curtains, and Metcalf was like, "Did you see that?" So he took off running. Me and Tyler, we're sitting out there having I'm smoking, and I think Michael's out here now, and then he comes on the radio. You need to get up here. You got to see this. So we go back up to this other room. Michael goes to open the door, and that it wouldn't budge. And when we finally get in there, it's like blackout curtains or something's in the window where you should not be able to see a
Right.
shadow at
Right.
all.
Yeah.
And then when we go
Michael
to
almost
leave the
got his
room,
hand broke, if
hmm
in that door.
I just had turned the camera off, and he went to close the door, and that door like slammed so hard on him, like it almost got his hand.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's no way that, he could not physically have done that the way that happened. And I just had turned the camera off, and I take myself to this day for it. Yeah, it was dangerous. Don't know what that was.
Well, we pissed somebody off in that building that night.
Yeah, they didn't want us to be in that
It
room,
just didn't
apparently.
want us there. It was tired of playing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
But
right. I think it was tired of playing with us. You know, we had been antagonizing it and trying to pull it out
yeah,
all weekend, and it finally said enough's enough.
yeah. But
But
it
you know,
did. It popped
the same
off.
thing. The shadow people that we witnessed there are so similar to the shadow people that you're going to witness at the jail.
Okay.
So, and I mean, everybody that's been with us to the jail has seen these shadow people, and it's funny
Wow.
because last time we were there, we camped out there. We camped out downstairs. Everybody went to bed. We accounted for everybody. We had two people in another room. I knew where they were at. They had not moved. We were in another room, and I think somebody was right beside us. So we accounted for the whole team that night. And we're laying there. Everybody's just about ready to fall asleep. And those metal stairs leading upstairs, you start hearing clank, 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 clank. Somebody walking on them.
Wow. Love that.
Polly,
Some like
really?
a
Yeah. Oh,
guard
yeah.
watching.
Also, I was extremely exhausted, and I always go to bed before anybody else on an investigation. It's the best sleep ever, sleeping in a haunted location. But I had went to bed. I mean, I was just exhausted. And so everybody else was raring to investigate. So they go upstairs and they're investigating. And then maybe it was Michael or somebody asked, "Where's Destiny?"
Mm-hmm.
And the portal said, "She's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
She's in bed." And it kept coming across there saying that. But one thing I want to mention too is you never know when something paranormal is going to happen to you. You never know when you're going to see a shadow man. I mean, you can't summon them, and say, "Okay, I want to see a shadow person tonight." not a lot of people have seen them before.
No.
So, if you ever do, it'll be a quick little dash and then it's gone most of the time.
Mhm.
We used to have shadow people in our home in our hall at the house, but I haven't seen one for many years now. It would
Mhm.
dart from one room to another when we would start to walk, and our hall is long. It's like
Long.
an alley long. It is a
Yeah.
long hall going
Yeah,
down
it
the
is.
middle of the house. And when you would start down the hall, you would always see something dart over into one of the bedrooms. And usually it would go from the right to the left. That was the normal pattern. Um, keep an open mind. I mean, don't run screaming and hurt yourself.
Hmm.
But I do want to tell you guys before we log off about an event happening. And I've got a cheat sheet here so that I don't say nothing wrong. Deep South Paracomic-Con. And if you've been there before, it's going to be in a different location this year. It's moved to Enterprise, Alabama, the Enterprise Civic Center, and it's August the 8th and 9th. And here's some of the guests that's going to be there. Robert Mukes from the House of 1,000 Corpses. I think that's a movie by Rob Zombie.
Mhm.
uh, Keith Age, the rock and roll ghost hunter. We met him last year, and oh my goodness, he is just a trip. We had the pleasure of riding him and Ken Gerhardt back and forth from the place where we had the Paracon and the motel. So we got to know them pretty good. Dr. Lee Triana, Terry Brown, psychic medium, Lilia Begova, Inner Demon Slayer. She was there last year and she did this dance. And I don't know, it took me a minute, but I finally got the message that she was bringing forth, and what a powerful message it was. Um, Loopy Lotus, cosplay guest, and many more to be announced. We're many more.
Hmm.
But we'll be there. Fox Paranormal will be there. I'm not sure yet how many of our team are going to get to attend with us, if any. Um, there is also room for vendors at this event. So if you have anything you vend, gemstones, or if you're a psychic medium and you want to do readings there or whatever, go to the vendor list, tell them what you do, and there is indoor and outdoor vendors this year.
Hmm.
The building is said to be a little smaller than last year's building, but the space outside is huge. So there's plenty of room for food trucks. They may have all the food trucks now. I'm not real sure. But there is a lot of room for vendors outside. So if you don't like being cooped up on the inside, you can be on the outside. Um, apply to be a vendor is simple. Go to Deep South Paracomic-Con, a portal to your imagination on Facebook. There's a link there. Um, apply now to be a vendor. Paranormal and horror, comics and collectibles, arts and crafts, metaphysical and oddities, cosplay, gaming, and more. It sounds exciting, doesn't it? Um,
I'll be doing a workshop there.
I think you're going to be doing two
Two
workshops, and
workshops.
we'll be posting information on that closer to the date. Michael did some workshops last year, and he really enjoyed that, and he found out that he's got a calling to do workshops. Imagine that.
I know one of them we're going to be getting into the higher levels of paranormal investigating. I'm going to try to help people to step up their game.
And also,
Nice.
Michael is going to do a workshop on the portal. So if you sign
Yay.
up for this workshop, it's very possible that you could communicate with a spirit right in the Enterprise, Alabama Civic Center.
We're going to try.
You don't want to miss
Yeah,
that.
that's
With
cool.
no guarantees. No
So
guarantees.
get your tickets.
But it could happen. If you would like to come out, the tickets are very affordable. I don't have the actual price, but I remember last year it was very affordable. I had family come up from Florida to visit with us while we were there, and they had a blast. And I believe they'll be coming back this year too. I'm going to
Cool.
stay on them because I really haven't seen them since last year's Comic Con. It's always like a big family reunion when we go.
It is.
Michael and his cousin Stan.
That's
It's just like a
funny.
big family reunion. I promise you. It is fun. They'll be doing cosplay contest, and I bet you Stan's just sitting back, just waiting on me to bloop on this.
Yeah,
I
You
think they're going
might.
to have a. I listen to what they say when they're talking about it. It's just remembering it the way they said it. There's going to be a junior cosplay contest and an adult, I believe. If I'm wrong, y'all just ignore that. But I think there is. So you definitely want to get in on that. The
yeah,
cosplay was wonderful last year.
it
I mean,
was.
absolutely wonderful. Pennywise was there. And for some reason, Pennywise kept hanging around our table.
I
So
like that.
I don't know.
I think he bought a necklace.
I think he did too. Pennywise bought a necklace from us.
How cool.
If he didn't, he should have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't remember everybody that
Yeah.
bought something.
Yeah, Destiny is convinced that Stan and I are cousins. For one thing, Stan and I do have a family connection.
You do.
And two, she says that when Stan and I do an investigation, we act just alike.
Y'all act a lot alike in the different areas.
Oh.
We've got electrocuted together. That's a bond
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
So A and B.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, him and Stan, me and you. Imagine that.
Yep.
He's got a double too. So
I love that.
If you're curious about the connection, come to the Paracon. We'll talk about them. But only if you come to the Paracon, you'll find out.
absolutely. Well, Michelle, you didn't have to get up and take care of anything during the
I
podcast.
didn't. Things went well.
She'd already warned us that she may have to take a phone call or something during the
Yeah,
podcast.
no, it
Just to excuse her
worked out
if
great.
she had to get up and she didn't. So I'm very glad of that.
Yes, me too.
And Jace had baseball practice tonight, so I missed his first
Oh,
practice. But heck, we only do the podcast every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we'll be right back here. I don't know if we'll have a
absolutely.
guest or not. There's two people that we're wanting to have on the show that are amazing people, and a few other people, And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, send an email to destinydfox@gmail.com. Give us your story. If you're a paranormal team, give us your story and tell us who you are. And it's possible we can get you lined up on the show. No promises. Every 2 weeks, that's only 2 shows a month. So it would take us time to really get to everybody. If a lot of people did want to be on our podcast, but we love talking to other paranormal teams. Like, tell us your methods. Tell us what you've caught.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. We want to know everything. But it is 9 o'clock
Spill
and our
the tea.
hour is gone already.
It's
Good
crazy how fast
conversation.
it
I've
goes.
enjoyed this. I love it so much. I really,
I'm
really,
glad to be
I
back.
love it so much for my husband that he gets to do a podcast.
I've done plenty.
The sacrifices a wife makes when she loves her husband.
Uh-huh.
No, I enjoy it. I was just playing. I do enjoy it a lot. But till next week, Michelle, but I'll be talking to you, I'm sure, later tonight,
Sure.
tomorrow, or whenever.
Always.
All right. Till next time, guys, Destiny and Michael Fox, Michelle Perez. See you in 2 weeks. Peace and love.
Night, everybody.
Good night.